Wow, welcome to the ASV delving into the Sculptor and Cetus streaming into the Abyss live stream. It's a bit of a mouthful, that one. Before we begin, I'd like to say that in the spirit of reconciliation, the Astronomical Society of Victoria acknowledges the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connection to land, sea and community, and we pay our respect to elders past and present and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people today. The skies are relatively clear, the moon is hiding, and our live stream are ready to share galaxies and nebula with you. As always, if you're enjoying tonight's stream on Facebook, you can donate stars. Those on YouTube can donate stickers. All donations, no matter how large or small, are welcome, and we appreciate them all. And if you're watching us for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page and follow us on Facebook. With the formalities out of the way, it's time to bring in tonight's team and see what we can see. We have Caleb from good old sunny Queensland, Andy hiding over near the South Australian border, Anne-Marie hiding somewhere up near Castlemaine-ish, sort of Malden area, I think, if that's right from memory. I always forget. And Lee from Ringwood. It's like it's like the Delaware of Melbourne.
Yeah, you made it sound like Sydney Western suburbs. No offence to anyone.
It does. Good evening from the Grampians. Welcome aboard, Andrea. Welcome aboard, Ronald. Ricky, thank you for the stars. Much appreciated.
Now, from memory, Andrea is on the sheep station out that way.
She is on the sheep station out near the Grampians or something out that way from memory. I believe she told us on the weekend's stream. So we might as well get straight into it. Caleb has got NGC 300 sitting there on our screens for us. He's currently imaging. And Caleb, how many stacks have we got of NGC 300?
Yeah, so
tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so NGC 300, I've currently got my 17th sub coming in of 2 minutes. So NGC 300 is a spiral galaxy, much like the Triangulum galaxy. Actually, it shares a lot of similarity to the Triangulum. It's about 94,000 light years in diameter, and it sits around 6 million light years away from us. It is one of the brighter galaxy in the Sculptor group, even though it's optically very dim. Everything's very far away, and they're fairly dim. What else? It's one of the closest one, so being it's the closest galaxy to our local group, being only 6 million light years or so away.
Only,
nice and close.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's an irregular. So what is it? It's part of the Sculptor group, and Sculptor is the area we're looking at tonight. The main area. We're also going to delve into Cetus a little bit. So most of the galaxies you see tonight will be from the Sculptor group in the constellation Sculptor. So did you mention how many light years across it is?
It is about 94,000 light years in diameter.
It is quite light. It has an X-ray source at the core, designated NGC 300X1. And I believe that it's a Wolf-Rayet black hole binary system.
That is correct.
Stefan's favourite.
I know he loves them, doesn't he? He should be here tonight. He really should, but he's not. So you have to deal with us. Those of us who don't know a great deal, we don't know as much as Stefan does. We don't know as much as Claire does, or Steve Thurm either. They're not with us tonight. You've got, once again, the backyard astronomers this evening, so we hope you're enjoying it. So at the moment, this is 17 images stacked live from sunny Queensland, the Gold Coast.
Yep.
From Caleb's balcony, actually.
Yeah, not even a backyard.
Not even the backyard, the balcony astronomer.
Yeah.
So
a little bit,
what gear are you using to take these images?
So tonight...
Actually, we have a different question. If you go back to that last image that you had, the stacked one.
Yep.
So this is the one with the 18 stacks.
Yep.
Those lovely round circles. Graham wants to know, what are the dark circular spots on the image? Are they some type of imaging artifact?
That is a dust. That is a dust. Those are dust. They're just very small, really sticky dust that can't get blown away other than if I were to wipe it, I guess. But they really want to stick anything into my camera. So I just correct it with flats, but because I changed my telescope out last minute, I didn't have the time to do some flats. Otherwise, it will be corrected, and they're correctable by flats. So they're just dust on the glass, or on the filter, one way or the other.
And they'll disappear when you process that image.
They will disappear when I apply flats. I just haven't had the time to take the flats today. So speaking of equipment, I'm currently imaging with the Esprit 100. I was planning to use my 9¼ inch Schmidt Cassegrain, but the focuser wouldn't behave itself. So I had flats for that telescope, but I haven't got flats for this telescope tonight. So imaging with the QHY268M, so monochrome camera currently on the luminance filter. So yeah, that's about it for my gear. Oh, EQ6R.
Now I think we might, if you want to keep capturing some data on that, we'll come back to it. But Andy's got James Bond's Galaxy that he's started to image. And Bond Galaxy, or NGC 7793, is a flocculent spiral galaxy, and it's about 12.7 million light years away. Discovered in 1826 by Mr. James Dunlop. So it's one of the brightest galaxies in the Sculptor group. The group itself is a loosely bound group of galaxies within the Sculptor Galaxy. So what have we got here? How many stacks have we got of this one, Andy?
At the moment, we've only got, it's 4 minutes. It's just 2 stacks. Two minute stacks. Yeah, it's just 4 minutes. I'll click over my other screen. This is a different. Yeah, that's just a single 2 minute one, and that's a 4 minute. Still got a lot of noise. No darks have been subtracted, so it's getting there. It's you need a good, I reckon, at least half an hour of this to really get all the details. But another one's going to be stacking in a minute. We're going to spoil it here, but there's supposed to be a few black holes in here, I think. In some of the spiral arms, of course, there's black holes everywhere, but it's not too regular. It's a little bit stretched out, this one, as far as I can see anyway.
So Anne-Marie's got a 60-second of Bond Galaxy as well that she's just taken.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. I said to Anne-Marie just before, she just popped a message in chat saying, I can give you a 60-second shot. And I said, well, 60 seconds of your shots is like 20 minutes of everyone else. And that image just says it all, really. I mean, you can see the detail in the arms in that. That's quite stunning. Here we go. Gerald wants to know what filters we're using.
I'll start out. I've got Astrodins. All of mine are Astrodin. I love them. They're really great.
Why do you love them?
Oh, so much better than I used to have the ZWOs, and you don't get the halos around stars, and just so much better. Cost an arm and a leg though.
Before the others continue, just in this 60-second exposure, I can see quite a lot of other little fuzzies floating around the edge here.
Yeah.
So we can see your cursor if you move your cursor over them. There's one there. Yep.
A little tiny one there.
Yeah. Another one there. Another couple there.
These are all galaxies here too, probably.
Yeah, all those little ones there. So these are all galaxies that you're seeing. These are all other galaxies in the background of NGC 7793.
There's a little one down here.
Yep.
There's probably one there.
And that's That's from a 60-second exposure.
Yeah.
So
I'll see if I can do 2-minute exposures, but I'm only getting one because my guiding's just something's going wrong with the mount. So,
having some technical, the gremlins are playing havoc tonight.
Yep.
We'll jump back across to Andy. So how many have you got here now, Andy?
That's 6 minutes so far. It's going to be loading the next one. It'll be 8 minutes in about a few seconds. It's registered 4. Now it should be stacking at any minute. That's just it's stacking now. I'm just looking at my guiding. It's actually quite good. For some reason, it was crashing before, and it's all come back. So I can probably get longer. But these 2 minutes ones are pretty good with my gear. I only got a simple old, crusty old Newtonian. But Canon 450D camera, and that's why the red tinge, because it's an Astro modded camera. But I normally get all that out in editing. It's not much I can do about the red tinge now. I can't pull it out in this software. I'll zoom back out again. Here we go. I haven't got any details like Anne-Marie's got.
No.
But,
So we've just jumped across to Lee here. We've moved on to our next object, which is the Sculptor Galaxy in the constellation Sculptor. And otherwise known as the Silver Coin.
Yeah.
The Silver Dollar Galaxy. It's an intermediate spiral galaxy. And it's a starburst galaxy, which means it's undergoing a period of intense star formation at the moment. Now, how many exposures is that, Lee?
That is 11. I'm only doing 30 seconds on each of these because it's definitely a bright object, so very easy to get
5.5
quick
minutes.
exposures. Yep.
And Caleb, you're moving across to that one as well, aren't you, at the moment?
Yep. I've just swung across, running autofocus soon.
So this is a galaxy that was discovered by Carolyn Herschel. She discovered it in 1783 during one of her searches for comets. And about a half a century later, John Herschel observed the same object using his 18-inch metallic mirror reflector at Cape of Good Hope. So it's a very Herschel-oriented object.
Yeah.
Now, Lee, what are you using equipment-wise to image this tonight? It's looking really good, actually.
It's a Celestron Edge HD8. Actually, I haven't even done focusing either since the last time we did anything, probably nearly 2 weeks ago. So I don't even know. That's probably not even in full focus. We just had a bit of a rush getting here. But that's a Celestron Edge HD8, 8-inch Smith Cassegrain. The camera is an ZWO ASI 2600M Pro, so it's a mono camera, and there's the filters. It's using a ZWO a ZWO electronic filter wheel. I've actually got the ZWO filters in there because by the time I changed cameras, I couldn't afford the extra filters, Anne-Marie. So, and coincidentally, Gerald was asking about the filters as I got them from Optic Central, where Gerald works. So, that was maybe that was why he was asking.
Maybe sold them to her.
And the mount is a Saxon AZ EQ6R Pro. So it's actually a mount that can do alt as and equatorial, but obviously, for the most part, use it in equatorial mode.
Well, you're getting some good images there for that was it was 11 before, so that was 5.5 minutes. What are we up to now?
Yeah, so it's 8 minutes now.
So, and
if I tell it to go automatically there with the stretching, and then just drop all the black, and then lighten it up a bit, looks a bit better.
Yeah, very, very impressive stuff. It's looking really good. So, Anne-Marie, did you get your 2 minute done of no?
No, I'm just having a real problem. My mount's just not working.
It's been tricky.
It's got a mind of its own tonight.
Well, I reckon if you can do a 60-second of Sculptor, it'll look better than Lee's 8-minute one.
I've actually moved on to NGC 300, but I'm battling clouds here as well again. But
it's meant to be clear out there.
Yeah, not really. I think it's clearer in Melbourne.
It is beautifully clear out there tonight. So I think I know some of the guys, the planetary guys, are out tonight taking some planetary imaging. Now, just back to the Sculptor Galaxy a bit there. There's a little bit of there's been some arguments over the years as to how far away it is. Some estimates put it at about 10.9 million light years away, and others put it at about 12.8. And they believe they're going with an average of about 11.4 million light years away. And it is another galaxy that has a supermassive black hole, a mass that's estimated to be around about 5 million times more than the mass of our sun, which makes it slightly heavier than the Sagittarius A black hole. Oh, there you go, Lee. Great work, Lee, especially from Ringer.
Thanks, Gerald. all the way from Mitchingham.
Mitchingham, he's around the corner from you. If anyone's got any questions about the objects we're looking at or just astronomy in general, we will do our best as the ASV's backyard astronomers, the non-experts, to answer them as best we can, really. So
I've got a 2 minutes up.
Have you? Share the screen with us. Here we go. Another 2 minute. Oh, that 2 minutes puts your 8 minutes to shame, Lee.
Well, you know.
Well, I mean,
we came straight from a meeting here, and you know.
That's what F5.5 versus F7. Are you at F7 at the moment?
F7 at the moment. Oh yeah, because I've also got the focal reducer. So, if I didn't have the focal reducer, it would almost be too big for the. But then it'll be F10, and yes, it's F7 at the moment.
Yeah, so can you guys explain this F from going from F10 to an F7 and the difference between an F7 and an F5?
So F stop is basically F number is the focal ratio. So every stop halves the light gathering what's the word? The light gathering capacity of the telescope. That will go with that. So basically, if so, one stop is not one number. So you go from let's say F2 to F3.5, and then 4 point something, and then 5 point whatever. That is half every stop. So you get half the amount of light every stop. You go up the number. So from F5.5 to F7, if I recall, that's step and a half. So Lee is getting 1.5 times less light than I am equivalent. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. It is very noticeable when you go from F5 to F7 to F10. Also a good example is with Stefan's telescope. His telescope is F2.8. So I've done the math. So his Helix Nebula, which you should have a look at, he did I think 12 or 13 hours of hydrogen alpha. That would equates to about 30 hours at bottle 6 with my F5.5. So that's the exposure equivalent approximately.
And probably more like 50 odd for mine.
Yeah, and it will be 50 plus or 60 hours for Lee's F7. So it's rough math around those. And yeah, so or you can pull the Schmidt down to F2 if you have a hyperstar. Obviously, you need to have a faster compatible Schmidt Cassegrain to do that. So not all the Schmidt from Celestron are compatible. All the brand new ones should be, I think, but some of the older ones wouldn't be.
Yeah. Do you want to just put that comment back up again, Mark?
Yes.
I believe Gerald's donating me a hyperstar. That's what I read that as.
I read that as the same thing.
Yep, absolutely.
Free telescope for Lee. I think Gerald just lost his job. So you backed that view right back out there, Caleb. Is that what the shot would normally look like? And before you'd zoomed in on it?
Yeah. So this is currently a focal length of 550. So this is only with my refractor. So not necessarily the highest power or the highest resolving power telescope for galaxies. So this is my native field of view, 550 mil with a APS-C size sensor. So quite a wide. So my wide is about 2 degrees by the height 1.5 or so. So it's quite a large, wide view. If I am allowed to, I would love to show my sculptor that I took the other night.
Go for it.
Which will actually contrast with my current telescope, which is going to be, and my pixels I just almost crashed. I'll have to stop sharing screen for a second and then pull it back.
Oh, that means they have to look at us. We don't want that. Nobody wants that.
Alright, there we go. Sorry.
We fix that problem. There we go.
Yeah, so this is with a 9.25 inch Schmidt cassette grain, so the Celestial 9.25 HHD, shot with the QH268M. This was done on Sunday night. Yeah, Sunday night and processed on Monday morning. So this is my sculptor that I took on Sundays, roughly 2.5-ish hours. Not the most exposure because it's technically it's my first/second light of my 9.25, and then it hasn't worked since. But yeah, anyways, point being,
broke it first night.
Broke it first night. This is at f7, so the focal length of the 9.25 native is 2,350 mil. This has been reduced to 1,645 in f7. So back to the question on filters, I actually use Optolong LRGB and Antler 3nm narrowband as well. So this is shot with Optolong LRGB.
Beautiful, looking very good. It's a lovely image. We'll have to pop that one. We'll have to pop that one on the ASV Facebook and YouTube over the coming days as well.
I've cooked the luminance decon. You can just don't zoom in when you do that. It's good on Instagram. It's fine.
It looks good from far, but it's far from good. Is that it? Well, look at that. So gorgeous. And I agree, Julianne, I agree. It is absolutely stunning, and we will put that on the ASV's social media for everyone to have a good look at. It's quite a nice image, Caleb. The detail in the core there, and I quite like it. Are you happy with it?
I'm happy with it as a first light. There will definitely be improvement if I get to fix my telescope before it goes away. But yeah, I'm really happy. I'm especially happy with the color. So that has nothing to do with the telescope. It is all to do with the camera and the filters, and I'm really happy with the color that comes out of Optolong filters.
It's looking very good. Now, Andy has got another one for us, which is String of Pearls, or NGC 55, which Lee is also starting to image as well. So it's also known as the Whale Galaxy, and it is a Magellanic type barred spiral galaxy around about 6.5 million light years away. It's also in Constellation Sculptor, and it's one of the closest galaxies in our local group. They believe that it lies between the Milky Way and the Sculptor group. So, Andy, tell us, what have we got? How many images have we got here that we're looking at?
At the moment, it's about two images, so that's 2 minutes. So that's only 4 minutes so far. Of course, it's not a 30-second Anne-Marie, but I've got an old yeah. It's 4 minutes. It's probably about 1 second of Anne-Marie's camera, but maybe half a second. But yeah. But for my old gear, I'm pretty happy what I'm getting. You know, I've just got to take a lot longer shots. You know, hours over days. So yeah, I'm pretty happy what's happened. But it's quite a stretched Galaxy. This one, like it looks like it had some.
It is. It's quite distorted.
Yeah,
and I think that could be because it's say that it's gravitationally, I guess, linked with NGC 300.
Interactive.
Yeah, so the southern pinwheel could be pulling it.
Sculptor is
sideways.
his area for galaxies. It is a great area for galaxies. They are everywhere in Sculptor.
It's full of them.
It is. We won't be looking at galaxies all night. We will put some other stuff up. In fact, we've got a globular cluster coming up soon. But for the moment, we're looking at galaxies because there's a lot of them in Sculptor. So this is Lee's version of it. How many exposures do we have here, Lee?
160
seconds, 60 seconds.
No, 160 seconds.
Yep. So that's 1 minute.
Yep.
You can really see the difference between yours and Andy's with the equipment. You can see the core in Andy's quite well there.
Yeah, so I could probably... We can probably get the core to come out a bit more just with some stretching.
There we go. Yes, you can indeed see it quite well.
Yeah.
And that'll come out,
detail
and the
there.
noise around it will disappear when we get a second exposure. So what we can also do is actually drag this up. Get some contrast.
I love how we can edit these live images on the fly as we're streaming.
Yeah.
I'll jump back across to Andy's for a second. So, have you added any more stacks to that one, Andy?
Yep, it's now 6 minutes. I'll try and darken it a bit. I've got. Yeah, I haven't got much editing on the fly here. It's just pretty well, just a slight stretch.
Stretching. Yeah.
Yeah. In this, I tried to get my Canon to work in. What program? Sorry, in SharpCap, and it was a bit flaky. You know, the live stacking. My ASI camera works fine in SharpCap, but it just didn't seem to work. It was very crashy. Because at least you've got more editing in SharpCap. You can sort of do more editing on the fly. Your live stacking's better. This is pretty just monitoring a folder, and whatever goes into that folder gets stacked. So you've got to be constantly changing folders, especially doing this live thing. I've done it a few times where I've accidentally forgot to change folders, and I'm taking another image, and then another image gets thrown into this of another object, and it just messes a whole lot up. And yeah.
I've found myself, even in SharpCap, like in changing cameras, a lot of the settings that are available change.
Yeah, right.
And sorry, I was just So and even like previously, the other camera I was using was it would allow a couple of extra settings like brightness and contrast and a few things like that. Whereas I just noticed in this with this camera, you don't get those settings. So
yeah, right.
SharpCap in itself is great for a whole lot of things, but it seems to a lot of the drivers themselves and the cameras tend to drive what the functionality is.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah.
So Ronald is saying that he's finding it really interesting watching the details appear, and I agree, Ronald. It's one of the most interesting things about live stacking in these live streams that we do is watching as each stack is layered on top of the previous image, just seeing a little bit more detail each time, a little bit more core appear, a little bit more of the outer arms or the outer sections of each of the galaxies just start to appear each time another image is added. It's quite an amazing thing to watch live.
Oh, here comes another one. It's coming in. Not yet.
It's trying to get in there. It's doing its best.
It's stack 4 now. That's 8 minutes. Total minute of 8 minutes and 4 seconds. So,
and how long's yours? How long's yours, Lee, so far?
It is 5 minutes now.
Let's have a look at that. 5 minutes. It's also interesting to see the different orientations of the object depending upon how each of you are set up to look at it.
Well, and the reason mine is like that is I've got my whole image train is actually set up at the moment for Horsehead Nebula, which in itself becomes elongated. I want it to be elongated one way for the capture, but if I have it set for this, it's on the completely different orientation, and I can't get it, horizontal versus vertical. So normally, if I've been imaging objects like Sculptor and String of Pearls and things, I would have it the other way, and it would be horizontal.
Yeah, well, I'm in the country and everything's on a tilt here anyway, so.
Especially after the earthquake, Andy, the sinkholes out there.
Yeah, the sinkhole didn't open up. Well, I don't know if it opened up. Hopefully, none opens up under the house. That's only worry, but anyway, it's only a small sinkhole. But it drained a lake. We used to have a bit of a lake here, and it drained it. But it might fill back up again and then drop back out again.
Guys, I'm going to spoil the party for you.
Yep.
Your images are good.
Oh,
here we go. Yeah.
Have a look at that. That is 2 images. How long are these images, Anne-Marie?
Oh, about 4 seconds.
She's on mute. Got to mute. Quick, unmute. Let's embarrass them.
That's actually still only one. The other one's still coming.
And how long was that one exposure?
That's a 60-second exposure.
That's a minute. That's a minute.
That's
Andy,
really
you might
good.
get there with an hour. You might get there with an hour, Andy.
Maybe. That's what it'll easy. Yeah.
That is unbelievable.
It's just so sharp. How you managed to get?
Sorry, I'm just trying to get back to my other screen. There we go.
Didn't have the Falcon on there this time.
No.
How Anne-Marie managed to get all the images so sharp all the time is what gets me. I
autofocus. Autofocus.
Yeah, but because so you're using Nina. Are you taking these with Nina?
I'm taking them with Nina, but I also have a Moonlight autofocuser on my scope. So, yeah, and
that's the brand of autofocuser, is it?
Yeah. It's expensive. It's probably more expensive than telescope.
I would imagine because you're shooting with a Newt, aren't you?
Yeah. I love it.
Imagine the Moonlight would cost you a lot more than the scope
itself.
itself.
Yeah, it did.
I think
so that should be
Gerald's facial expression says it all on this comment. He's quite shocked at it. I'm just, that's a minute. That's amazing. That's absolutely stunning from a 1 minute exposure.
It's probably 2 now. Oh, no, still only one. Oh, hang on. I haven't.
1. Still only says 1.
Yeah, it does too. Why is that not stacking?
It actually said it said files in stack 2, which means it didn't stack the second image.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder why.
It didn't like it. Wasn't as good as the first one, so it said no.
I've seen that a few times with that live stacking thing in.
I haven't noticed that before.
It shows the second file. It says, "Oh, I've got 2 in the stack," but in the background it's doing its
Yeah.
little stacking,
This next
stacking,
one
and it
should-
fails. And it, yeah. Oh, there we go. See, it says files in stack 2 now.
It didn't want to embarrass you guys. That's why.
That's right.
Yeah, there was definitely something wrong with the one before. It was a-
Yeah,
Well-
right. Yeah, there was a star out of place or something, was there?
That's because it looked.
still aligning. It hasn't
because
stacked. It hasn't stacked the second one yet because you can see up here it's just aligning still.
Yeah.
So it hasn't quite.
Wow.
There you go.
That's
Integrating,
brilliant.
monitoring. There you go. That's
The
2
error-
now.
The error
So that's 2
message,
minutes.
the
Yeah.
error message for that other file, Andy probably says looks too much like Andy and Lee's. and not stack.
Just that second stack going on, you could automatically see how much more detail just jumped into that image as well.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, you can see the dust lanes and everything.
Yeah.
You know. Yes. All right. So I've got to go.
Zooming in a bit there. Can you
Yeah,
zoom
too
into
much.
the core there, Anne-Marie?
In here,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's sort of got 2 cores.
It does. It's kind of like it's been partially ripped apart. Hey,
Yeah, I don't know if I've actually got my cooler on. So it doesn't look any good. It's all the noise comes out of it.
so what you're saying is, if you had your cooler on, it'd look even better.
Probably.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Have I got my cooler on?
Yeah, I was.
Everyone's
That's
forgot to turn their coolers on. Now, why is the cooler on a
Now
camera
one's on.
important?
It reduces the noise. Mm.
And the noise is all of those speckly grey spots in that photo.
Yep. I do have my cooler on, so it is just noise.
That's just noise.
Yep. So it's detected another file. But I might go on to something else, hey?
Yes, why not? Move on to another one. We'll jump across to Caleb. Caleb has got NGC 288
Yep.
for us, which
NGC
is
288. Just
yeah,
a
which
globular
is
cluster.
a globular cluster.
Quite a small
Sculpt-
one too, actually.
Yeah, it's a very small one. It was discovered in 1888 by John Dreyer. You can see this one through binoculars, which is good. And if it's, I might go out after the stream with a pair of binoculars and see if I can find it now. That'd be quite an interesting one to have a look at. I don't have much other information on this one other than that it's around about 200 and also 28 light years away, 28,000 light years away. That's about all I can add to that one.
It's about pinky and a half away from Sculptor Galaxy, actually.
A pinky and a half away. That's a scientific
those-
distance measurement.
That's the
It's
SI
1
SI
It is a
standard.
pinky and a half away. So
It's
I just want
1.8
to jump back
degrees
to
away.
just want to jump back to Anne-Marie's one for a second there. We had a question here. If it has 2 cores, does that mean some other galaxy has crashed in and combined with it? This is this was the Whale Galaxy, wasn't it? So this
Yeah.
is NGC 55. So
Mhm.
it is gravitationally bound or something along those lines with NGC 300. And NGC 300 is a lot bigger, and I guess that it's dragging it apart, really, would be what it's doing to it. Maybe they crashed and NGC 300 broke it up a bit. But I think it's because they're gravitationally bound and NGC 300 is just bigger and better and badder. We'll jump back across to NGC 288. We'll push along with that.
Yep. So these are 30 seconds exposure. I've got 6, so it's only 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Of loom. Yeah, so what I was saying is it's only 1.8 degrees southeast of
Pinky and a
Sculptor.
half. You must
So
use
pinky and
that.
a half.
Pinky and a half. That is the reference from now on.
Yeah,
The
pinky and a
SI unit,
Yeah.
pinky and a half.
Scientific measurement from now on.
Yeah, in chemistry we'd be like a squirt, a splash, and a sprinkle. Scientific.
So no
measurement.
moles, just a
No.
squirt, splash, and a sprinkle.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, what is it called? NGC 288. It's not the not the most impressive. Oh, it's loading in another image. It's another goblet cluster. It's kind of a loose one as well. It's kind of like it has a really small core.
It
as far as I
does,
can tell.
yeah. Yeah, it's got a very small tidal core. It's very very open for a globular.
Yeah, it's a very open globular cluster because it's definitely not an open cluster. But you know, but yeah, I haven't got much to say about that.
Someone's got a noisy mouse, and it's not
Come on.
me.
It's me.
It's not me this time.
Not you this time. No.
Yep.
So we're going to jump across to see, Lee, yours shows it a lot more open.
Yeah. Well, it's
Isn't that interesting? So Caleb's is I guess a wider view. Yours is a little bit more closed in on it. So it's showing it is a lot sparser than what it looks like on Caleb's.
So
It's quite a beautiful object.
yeah, like I don't mind it simply because it's not as like when you look at the likes of Tuck 47 and Omega, as fantastic as they are, they're so busy, and it's sort of, I suppose your focus gets taken absolutely everywhere on that. Whereas with this one, you get to see, like you should be able to see my mouse. You can see little bits of, there's a few fuzzies in here that are potentially, I would expect, a whole lot further away.
Oh yeah, you can just make them out. Yeah.
Put one there. I can go right in on that.
Lee, you've got a challenge. Count the stars. Apparently you can count the stars in this one. Yeah, you can see that fuzzy just there, can't you?
Yeah. We'll count the stars, can we? 1,078 visible there. I don't know. I suppose it was that time. Did I see that was Tim? That
yes.
Yeah. I only just because I've got my screen up top, I couldn't quite see, but I sort of recognised the corner of my eye. So I'd like to know if Tim's actually counted those ones.
Tim, screenshot and count and get back to us, please. So
No plate solving.
Kelso, I hope I'm saying that name right. I apologise. Can you talk about the guiding in your photos? So the guiding that you're going through to be able to take these images.
I'm not guiding now.
You're not guiding. So
I'm not even going to try.
Anne-Marie's not guiding and she's taking these amazing images.
But they're only 60-second shots, so
yeah,
my mount can handle the 60 seconds.
So I'll
Lee,
probably
on the other hand, is guiding, and tell us a little bit about how the guiding is impacting or improving your images.
So the mount I've got, I don't really need to guide. It's a really good mount, and will probably 60 seconds is really not a problem for this. I could probably go up to 2, potentially 3 minutes, really, as long as I've got really good polar alignment, which I think I've actually got tonight, so it's not too bad. I have a guide scope on the top of the mount with the scope, and using PhD2, it is, you can see here. Hopefully you can see that. Yep. So effectively, we're setting some guide stars. So we're telling the image that's coming through this small camera. You can see there's the globular cluster there. So it shows the difference in the guide scope and what we see. But it doesn't need to be all that big and clear, as long as it can see stars and identify that they're stars. So we're telling it to lock onto these stars and keep them in the frame exactly where it is. So as the scope starts to drift, or there might be a bit of wind, a bit of movement, or just generally if it's not fully polar aligned, the lines here, the red and the blue, show whether it's going, let's say north or east, north or south or east or west, and the lines that are up and down here show corrections. So where little pulses are given by the guide camera, or controlled by the software to the mount to say, push this way, push this way, push this way, and you can see the line. Actually, I don't know if you can see quite. You probably can.
Yeah, we can see the line. Yep.
So just actually, if I change the, oops, nope, I'm looking at the wrong axis. Sorry, this is better.
Come on.
So it looks horrible. It looks horrible like this. It looks like Caleb's guiding he was having the other night or earlier, but you can see here that with the red, the mount it's finding that it's drifting a bit wrong in the wrong direction, so it's going down. So it sends pulses to the mount, which corrects it. It gets back into corrected, and then it finds that it's a bit high, so it corrects it the other way, and then it's gone too far low down, and then it corrects it. So it just keeps doing that over and over. And what you're looking for is figures here, and that's probably a little bit too small to see, and I can't really, I can't make that look any bigger. We're looking for figures here that are low, effectively. The lower the figures in... Sorry?
What numbers have you got at the moment?
So I've got, in RA, I've got, what have I got? 0.52. In deck, I've got 0.63, which is giving a total of 8.81. So, and it is actually a little bit windy out there at the moment, and I've got a dew shield, so that's probably why it's jumping a fair bit.
Yep, I'm getting about 0.72 at the moment.
Yep.
It's not too bad.
And I'm getting 2.1 at the moment.
2.1.
Yeah.
I'm
my
getting
guiding
0
is
because I don't have a
atrocious
telescope
tonight.
out. Now, we're just going to jump across to NGC 134, I believe it is.
Yep.
That Anne-Marie has got, because she's going to need to move off it very shortly. Oh, oh my God, look at all the fuzzies in there.
Oh,
Wow.
The glow out the side here is a bright star off to the side of my view, which is
it's not
Damn,
Alan
those
Attack, is
little
it?
bright stars ruining everything.
It's like Alan Attack that comes and ruins the day every time.
Yeah, it does. But this one's not that bright. I don't know why it's done it.
That's a beautiful image. So it's a barred spiral galaxy, very much like the Milky Way. It's about 60 million light years away in the constellation Sculptor, so another one hiding up in Sculptor. And Ronald, best 3 words ever. Wow. That is wow. It's to be able to see this being imaged live online is quite something.
Is that a giant squid?
Yeah, it is. And the next
Cool.
one's going to have a satellite coming through it.
Excellent.
Recorded satellites.
Actually, you might not see it because I've zoomed out or zoomed back out. There it is. Oh, yeah, there's 2.
So it's got a
Damn
warped disc
satellites.
to it. It's got a warped disc to it. Oh, look at that. Satellite attacked it. And which means that when it's viewed sideways, it doesn't always, it doesn't appear flat. And a trail of gas that strips away from the edge at the top of the disk, which suggests that it has interacted with another galaxy, but they haven't been able to prove that just yet. So it's attributed to John Herschel, as being discovered by John Herschel. But there is suggestions that it was actually discovered by James Dunlop in 1828, and Mr. Dunlop would have discovered it out in Parramatta. That's where he discovered most of his stuff. I am paying attention in these streams. I am learning stuff.
And there is a lot of other little galaxies in there too.
Oh, there's heaps of them, isn't there?
Hundreds of them.
Yeah.
So this is 9 minutes, is it?
Yeah.
as I get attacked by a mosquito or something.
Oh,
It's probably the insect that that Mike David rescued the other day. It
The
looked
white
about a
tail?
foot. No, not that one. I think it was about a foot long. It was a wasp.
Oh, I think I saw that one as well. Now, we got another question from our guiding man. Are any of you using an Acer to live stack?
Azier.
Azier, sorry, Azier.
No, I'm not using one. I did want one. I wanted the Plus, but you can't get them until the earliest is December. So I've gone for a second laptop on my other scope as well. Oh yeah, on my little scope. So I will get one day.
You will get one day, eventually.
that's what I'm. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I
That's
do
what
like
I'm
Nina
sort of-
though, so it'd be hard to move away from Nina. But I think the Azier will be good. Bit more
Yeah, that's
mobile.
That's what
Sorry.
I'm sort of debating about, getting another laptop and just leave it in the tent, and then I could go inside. You don't
Yeah.
enjoy the tent. It's falling apart, but it's really. You can see how much gaffer tape is holding this thing together, and it's not leaking yet, but it'd be good to stretch out.
Build a tent. Build a new one.
I
So
know.
Lee, you've got the same object. You have got.
Yeah, nowhere near as good as Emerald.
Sorry?
Actually, I was only doing 30 seconds, so.
So this is
There's
a
that
really
one.
good example of the difference in equipment being used. So it's not to say that what Lee's producing is any worse. It is really equipment based, isn't it?
And it's sort of well, I mean, Anne-Marie's definitely got far better focal on hers.
But that's what I wanted to do. That's why I bought this scope. It's because I want to do the little galaxies and things like that. But I can't do I can't do Orion with this. I can do the core maybe, but it's just too big. So that's why I still keep my ED80 and run that as well, so that I can do the wider field.
You can see. So where was that? The star is around about here, I think. You're seeing it, but you can see in my guide image here. That's the star.
That's the star. Yeah.
It's that really bright one I can see on yours, Lee. It's the brightest one.
Yeah.
Is that star that was in Anne-Marie's. So it's just up at about 2 o'clock-ish. The one that's about 2
so
o'clock.
you can see the galaxies down here. My guide scope's not quite aligned with the scope at the moment. I like to tend to get it really central, but I know that I kind of know my center is here, in line with this, so I can get pretty accurate sort of slewing in the first place. But that means that star, probably compared to this image here, is way up here. But it just shows how bright it is. That even on Anne-Marie's image, which is encompassing this amount of space, that it's still sort of encroaching on that. Yeah.
Well, see, Bob, I'm doing 1 minute at the moment.
Same object?
Same object.
Let's jump across.
And that's the bright star you can see, of course.
There it is. There.
You got it.
Okay. Yeah, you got it. You got
How
it.
far
So
away
Lee,
it is, and it was stuffing up my photo.
Yeah.
Move out of the way, Lee. Zoom back if you can.
Oh, back.
Yeah, back. So I'm just trying to work out between the two what direction it's off.
It's the same. So it's up the
Oh,
top
it's actually
left.
Up the top.
Sorry,
top
up that
left.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't. I just realised too. So this image here is upside down.
Upside down. So that there. Well, so Andy's. So this is another way of showing the difference between the equipment. Wider views. So Andy's got a very wide view, and you can still see that small galaxy that was off to the side in the other images as well. Even in Andy's there he is there.
Yeah. So this is 2 minutes now. It's slightly out, but I've only just started guiding. I sort of start an image and then I start guiding. So, but normally I can get 1 minute to 2 minute images without guiding at all, with no wind. But yeah, but I'll have to get anything like Emery, so I have to be on here for an hour, and then rely on the darks to pull all the noise out.
Is yours a color camera?
Yeah, it's a 12-year-old or 13-year-old now Canon 450D, but it's been modded just in a 6-inch Newtonian. That's why the red, you can sort of see a bit of a red tinge to it. But it's good for galaxies. You don't get the detail, but when you look at nebulas, you really, I can use an HA filter and really bring out some data. That's which I'm waiting for Orion season coming up. And
it started for us, and then daylight savings popped it back an hour.
Yeah. So unless you want to do a couple of all-nighters,
already.
We're going to jump across to NGC 613 while Caleb takes some data on another object. And NGC 613. So Anne-Marie, how many have we got here? This is one stack. Showing off again.
Well, here we go.
So this is a barred spiral galaxy in Sculptor again. That is 67 million light years away.
I'm not sure why it's only one stack.
Well, it's amazing at one stack.
Well, it's
true.
It's pretty good.
Oh, it's got 2 now. There we go.
It's taken 6 exposures, so I'm not quite sure why it's a bit slow. Could be just the internet between the two.
No, well, I'm seeing that. It looks there's a bit of
there's trailing.
Yeah, a little bit of trailing, eh?
Yeah, something's
I'll
not
get that
right.
going.
Hey, it still looks good even though it's trailing. Now, the galaxy was discovered by a German English astronomer, Mr. Herschel again, and then rediscovered by Mr. Dunlop, and first photographed in 1912.
So when they say rediscovered, does that mean they lost it?
Must have lost it. Forgot where they put it.
Yeah.
Oh, where did we put that one? Oh, it's in the drawer, the thingamabob drawer, the Who What's It drawer.
Maybe their guiding was out back then.
Guiding was out.
Maybe their guiding was out.
Or Benjamin
Someone
Franklin
dropped the
brought in daylight savings, and it was all just an hour out. As simple as that.
Yeah, they dropped the compass.
Drop the compass.
So just while we're having a look at this one, Ergio, great session. Thanks for sharing. Just started last week using a Raspberry Pi with Stellamate with ECOS, mainly due to the fact that the Azier is only compatible with ZWO. So another one of our viewers jumping on deep into the world of astrophotography.
So that's interesting in itself. Like I started using the I'm going to guess he's potentially using Astroberry for the image, which is something that's been put together, which has got the whole ECOS and whatever to throw straight on a Raspberry Pi. And I started to use that, but I had the reverse problem in a way in that I had QHY cameras and I couldn't get any of them to work with it. So it's
It'll control DSLRs too, doesn't it? The ASI
I think
airs.
it can, but but you still need you still got to install the drivers for those.
But it's not Windows compatible. It's a Android, isn't it?
Yeah, they're Android, which effectively is a Debian version with Raspberry with the Raspberry Pis. But it's there's still a set of sort of drivers for like ASCOM drivers, effectively.
Yeah, right.
Now,
I think another PC, couple of PCs or a couple of laptops is my option, I think.
So Anne-Marie, Andrew is saying that she has enough trouble photographing the moon. Your images are amazing, and I agree they are. They're absolutely amazing. For the short amount of exposure that you're giving us, they're quite stunning. Now we're going to jump over to Caleb, who has the Skull Nebula.
Yeah, so the
NGC
Skull
246.
I need my cheat sheet. Yeah, so Skull Nebula is a planetary nebula. So it's quite close actually, only 1,600 light years away.
Is that all?
So yeah, that is all, which is
Nice and close.
quite. It's also known as the Pac-Man Nebula. I don't have the ability to resolve it, but apparently the central star and the surrounding star field looks like a Pac-Man. I don't see it on Google, but if I have the a longer focal,
I can't even see the skull in it, if we're going to be honest.
No, neither do I. Well, to be fair, this
yeah,
is only a 4-minute.
It's an upside down restrained thing. So if you turn it
Right.
upside down, the eyes are, well, they are where they are, but the
There's
upper
apparently
the upper jaw is on the top of this one. So if you flip this 180 degrees,
then you'd see it.
Right, so
Yeah.
skull.
So the
eye
two
would be down
bright
here.
stars in the middle of it are the eyes.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. There we go. Now this will
There it
be
is. There's the
completely,
Pac-Man sound.
will be completely demonetized now because of that.
No, it wasn't 10 seconds. We'll be right.
So yeah, I've been imaging on HA, so that was a HA stack of 2 by 2 minutes. Let me quickly put on a 03. So
While you're doing that, I just want to explain to the people that the Skull Nebula is essentially the remnant of a stellar explosion where a sun-like star went boom, basically, and expelled its outer layers, leaving behind a glowing white dwarf star. So that white dwarf star is one of those stars that can be seen, and it's the one that looks like it's at the very center is the one that exploded.
I would imagine so, yeah.
And it
Usually
has a dim red
plenty.
dwarf stellar companion as well. And they orbit each other as a binary pair.
So I might be able to get a color image.
Oh, you're trying to add color to this?
Yeah, so HOL. I'm gonna do HOL. So I've done 2 subs on hydrogen alpha, and 1 sub on O3. I'm not sure if it will stack properly though. That is the problem. I'm having trouble lately. I don't know why, but
It's always the way when you get clear skies. Everyone has trouble.
yeah. I've been talking to a couple of people tonight, and outside of the stream, and they are having trouble with guiding down in Sydney as well. So I'm convinced it is a yeah. I don't think it's stacked now. It didn't. That's okay. We'll give it another minute and see if a new sub comes in and see if it stacks or not. But yeah. So doing hydrogen alpha and O3 oxygen 3 on this target is quite. Much like a lot of the planetary nebulae, that's even closer and larger than Skull Nebula. So the Helix Nebula is also very hydrogen and oxygen rich. So it's great to image in those 2 spectrum or wavelength.
Do you want to keep trying some color in that? And we might jump across to Anne-Marie again. I'm not sure what are you trying to jump on with there at the moment?
I'm going to give.
On.
Yeah, I'm going to give the skull in a minute, but
All right, jump on Skull. While you guys are doing that, we'll jump over to Anne-Marie, who has the cut. That's not the cut. Is that Cartwheel Galaxy, Anne-Marie?
Yep. Yeah, it is.
Wow, I've never seen that
Nebulosity.
before. That is a very weird-looking thing.
It is. It's a
So
long way away.
galaxy, a lenticular galaxy, and a ring galaxy. It's around about. It's a long way away, isn't it?
It's 500 million light years away.
500 million light years away. So the lenticular galaxy is the little blob that's inside the middle of it, and the ring galaxy part of it is obviously that ring running around the outside of it. That's quite stunning. It's estimated to have 150,000 light year diameter. And its outer ring has a circular velocity of 217 kilometers per second, discovered in 1941. It's believed to be one of the most complicated structures in the galaxy that we've found.
That's an interesting little thing.
It's very interesting. It's
Might have to
I've
do a
never
proper one of
ever
this.
seen that. That is just nuts looking. Grace, wow. Those 3 words describe a lot of the stuff we see tonight. Wow. That is unbelievable. Abbott and Engineering want to know what scope you've got, Anne-Marie.
I've got a reflector, a Newtonian reflector. It's a 10-inch with a 1200 millimeter focal length.
Oh, so the 10-inch f5.
Yep, F5.
There we go. So the galaxy was once a normal spiral galaxy, and it underwent a head-on bullseye-style collision with a smaller companion around about 200 to 300 million years prior to how we see it now. When the nearby galaxy passed through it, the force of the collision caused a powerful gravitational shock wave that expanded through the galaxy like a rock being tossed into a sandbed. Hence the reason why we see it the way we see it now. That's officially my favourite new galaxy.
Yeah, I think I might have to spend a bit of time on that one. I quite like it too. From what
Yeah.
I've seen on Wikipedia, I don't know whether you can get a real photo of it up.
I'll try. Let me see if I can get one of those up.
It's actually quite colourful.
Hang on, here we go. Let's do the dangerous thing and let Mark share his
It's
screen.
blue. It's really pretty.
So this is not Anne-Marie's. I'm going to take claim for this one. Can I take claim for it? Is that
can.
possible? Yeah.
It's an
Pretend that I took this
astrophotography
image.
one.
What was that? Yeah, I took this with my phone. Let's just pretend that's what happened. So there we go.
Isn't that beautiful?
Wow.
It's
Nothing like mine.
unbelievable.
I suppose that's a
Wow.
Hubble one, is it?
What have we got? Image
Yep,
card.
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hubble. Yeah, this is a Hubble image. This is all right for all the astrophotographers out
awesome.
there. I want you to start taking images of this one. That's a cracker. That is probably the most amazing galaxy I've ever seen myself.
Can't really see much of these little ones. Those little ones.
No, that's the
in
thing. I
mine.
didn't even realise that there's another 2 off to the side there. Oh, yeah, Grace, I agree. Far out. So for those asking what it's called, this is the Cartwheel Galaxy. This is easily the most beautiful object I think we've imaged live. So that's not the live unit. Let's go back to Anne-Marie's. And actually, you know what, Anne-Marie?
Mine looks like a jellyfish.
I can actually see those 2 other galaxies down the bottom there. So at around about 5 o'clock. About 5 o'clock there. Can you zoom
You can't
into
see
that?
them zoomed in. It just blobs.
Yeah, no, you can make out the spiral arms of that spiral one. You can
I mean,
just
that's
make
only
it out.
6 minutes. So I suppose if we gave it a few hours, you might get something nice out of it.
Can you give it another 6 minutes and we'll see what it looks like? We'll come back to it. Caleb, have you got your skull going with colour?
Yep, I do. Ish. It's very bicolor. I mean, it is bicolor.
It doesn't matter. There we go. So, starting to see...
Yeah, so you can see... so I can see the skull now. So that
Yeah, you can see the skull now. You can see the eyes and the skull and the mouth down the bottom where that single star is.
So that's for 8 minutes on O3 and 4 minutes on hydrogen alpha.
That's quite amazing.
Yeah, so I'm zoomed in quite a lot because otherwise this would be the view.
That's right. Still zoomed in, you can still see that detail.
Yeah. So so the dirty trick in astrophotography is drizzle integration. So for those who don't know what that is, it's a process invented by the Hubble team. It's basically to fill in pixels by doing maths and a lot of numbers and a lot of crying hours of your computer not being able to function beyond
your computer's
doing,
mad at you,
integration.
Caleb.
Yep. So basically, it's just to fill in pixels or fill in the gaps for undersampled images.
Yep.
So the Hubble is actually has such a large sensor, or the sensor has such a large pixel. It shows up as really blocky, and they figured out a mathematical algorithm to fill in those blanks to make the star round again. But we can use drizzle integration to basically artificially blow up the image to double the size or triple the size, and we can crop it. It's a way to like increase the resolution, I suppose.
So maybe Captain Kirk could get us close up to this and to the Cartwheel Galaxy as well. And Amory, you've got a fan. Grace says that you're amazing, and I agree. Your images are simply
Thanks,
they
Grace.
are literally out of this world.
They are.
Yeah.
Well,
So while you're doing a little bit more with that, Amory, we're going to jump over to. Oh, hang on, Lee's got Skull up as well.
yeah, that's only a couple of minutes.
Only a couple of minutes. Might let you keep going with that one. Oh, and Caleb's going to answer a question for us. Will the James Webb Telescope take images like this?
So the short answer is no. It is actually designed to capture redshifted. So it is red and beyond. So it doesn't image anything like Hubble does. So there's no sulfur, hydrogen, oxygen filters. It is all beyond red and red and to the right of the spectrum. So yeah, it's more to look at distant galaxy and calculating the redshift to work out the distance, etc. That's the main objective of many. But yeah, so it doesn't. It is more a scientific instrument than to make pretty images. I mean, Hubble is still a very, very much a well-respected scientific instrument, but it is not the main objective of James Webb.
Here we go. Here's an answer for us. Now, I did notice an answer. A question earlier up that we hadn't actually answered because I had to check with somebody to make sure I was on the right path with it. Are globular clusters very old galaxies, and do they still make stars? I can't tell you if they still make stars. I'm not that smart. My podcast buddy is that smart, but she's not here tonight. But I am confident that I can tell you that they are collections of very old stars. But the idea of whether they were once galaxies is still a theory at this point in time. Hopefully that is of some help. This is why we need the experts. Now, this one here is NGC 247.
I was just about to go on there.
Jump across to it.
Oh,
Yeah.
well.
It's known as the Claw Galaxy and also as the Burbage.
Burbage chain.
Burbage chain.
Yeah.
So it's an intermediate
You know what?
spiral galaxy, sometimes classified as a dwarf galaxy. It's a lot closer than the Cartwheel Galaxy. It's about 490 million light years closer than the Cartwheel Galaxy at 11 million light years. And this one's not in Sculptor. This is in Cetus. So this is slightly dipping into the other constellation that we're going into tonight. And it wasn't discovered, or its discovery wasn't confirmed until 2011, which is quite surprising. It's quite recent, really, when you think about it.
Mm. Well, you know how you're talking about the Hubble telescope? This is my Humble telescope, and it doesn't quite get the same images, but it's it's a lot cheaper.
Have you got a photo of that one, Andy? You sent us a photo the other day.
The Hubble telescope.
Can you share? Hang on, Amory, have you got some data of NGC 247 while Andy gets his photo of his Humble telescope?
247, is that the one I'm on? I'm just on there now, just plate solving.
Okay.
Give me 1 minute.
We might have to wait a minute, Andy, before we share the gorgeous look of your galaxy. So this is another one. This one's gravitationally bound to the Sculptor Galaxy, and it forms a small core in the center of the Sculptor group. So there's so many galaxies in this area, and quite a few that are gravitationally bound to each other as well.
Yeah.
Lee, it's scary. I'm starting to sound like I know what I'm talking about when I know that I don't.
Yeah, well, Stefan and Steve are going to have to...
I'm listening to them. It
Step
shows I'm
up.
paying attention. That's for sure. How are we going there, Anne-Marie? You ready to share
No,
your
50
line?
seconds. Just finish plate solving.
Should we all do a countdown? No?
What have we said? 15? Yeah.
40 seconds. And then
I've
you've
run
got to
out
give it. Then you've got to give it a minute to come over to Pix Insight.
Oh my gosh, that's just so long, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've run out of things to say about
You can-
NGC 247.
Already.
Yeah, already. There's not a lot of information about NGC 247. Not that I could find in my research today anyway. Surprisingly, hey, I researched shock horror. Normally I wouldn't do that.
That's because you normally have people to do it for you.
Normally I do have people to do it for me. Today I didn't, so I had to do it. And I'm learning very quickly that sometimes I actually do need to research. I've done very good at researching today, so.
All right.
I can say that most of the other galaxies linked in with the Sculptor region or with the Sculptor group are only weakly gravitationally bound to this particular core. And yes, Grace, it's a very long minute. It's an Anne-Marie minute. As good as her images are, her minutes are very, very long.
Well, you've got to remember, I have two computers. I've got the one that I'm working on here and the one that's over outside in my dome, and they've got to talk to each other, and then I've got to get the information from over there, which is a huge file, to download to here to get onto Pix Insight, and there it is now. Why aren't you want it?
There we go. Jump across. She got so
Nice,
busy
man.
explaining it that it appeared out of nowhere. It's got nothing to do with that she's retired now and bored.
No. That's an interesting one.
It's a very interesting one.
It's a bit like
What's
the Whale Galaxy, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's got a real openness to it up down the bottom on yours.
Mm.
There you go, Anne-Marie. Pressure's relieved. It's fine. No hurry. We can wait. Now, while you're doing some stacks here, Andy's got his Hubble telescope.
There
So
it
that's
is.
Andy's Hubble telescope. It's not quite a Hubble telescope, but it's a work in progress.
Yeah, it's got.
As you can tell, we have very good working relationship. We have a very good rapport with each other.
Only the finest Glad wrap for the optics.
Yeah, only the finest glider app. Yeah, it was
Not this
actual
cling
Glad.
film stuff.
It wasn't Woolworths brand.
Yeah, not this cling film.
The guiding spot on.
The guiding spot on.
That's you just standing there saying, it's up there.
Yeah,
So-
it's good.
Robert, you are spot on. The minutes are long, but the wait is definitely worth it when you get an image like that.
Sounds like a tagline, doesn't it? The minutes
It
are
does.
long, but the wait is worth it.
Anne-Marie's imaging sessions. The wait is long, but the images are worth it.
I don't know why it's not stacking, because it would have. I've got trails again in that one. It
You
doesn't
do,
seem to
yeah.
like to stack once I've got trails, so you might
should
only
use
get
it-
a 60-second one from me.
You should
Gotta
use a
drop the
P30.
first
You should
image.
use a P30 light, Anne-Marie. Those
Well,
phones don't have trails in their star images.
I don't know why I'm having trails, but at least I'm getting a shot now. I wasn't earlier.
Yes, it's nice to be able to live stream and have clear skies so that you guys can actually show off what you can do.
I might actually just stop watching that. I'll see if I can try something else. Just go off mine for a minute, Mark.
Yeah, I'm on Andy's now. So,
Okay.
and while you're doing that, Caleb is in the background trying to get Cartwheel into Galaxy just to show a different
He's-
perspective.
He says he
perspective
can't
of it.
even see it.
Yeah,
Oh, there it is.
he's got it.
There
so
it is.
just be
Yep,
interesting
there
to
it
see the difference.
Where is it?
There.
Hang on. Let's
We're
jump
still
over
on
to
these.
Caleb's. No, we're jumping
Thank
over
you.
to Caleb's now.
Oh,
There
yeah.
it is.
Yeah,
To
See, you
zoom
can
out
see it.
in 3, 2, 1.
there it is.
It's right here.
Oh, it's over there, just above the mouse. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that really shows the difference
Wow.
in equipment
Wow.
and capabilities, doesn't it?
Yeah. So if I were to put on my this is a simulation, obviously. If I were to do it at 1645, it will be that.
Yeah, right.
And if I
And
were
then
to
you're
do
doing
it
it
at
at
F10,
550.
yeah. And if I were to do it at F10, like someone from I don't know. I'm actually tempted to try an F7, if not at F10 for that one. Like, if I sort out everything on my Schmidt, I'll probably give it a go, and like sync maybe like 24 hours or nothing. Because this is definitely by far the furthest thing I've intentionally imaged. So 500 million light years away. Did you say? I think the
Yep.
the next furthest thing I've imaged so far is only the M66 group at 36 million light years away. So this is by the furthest thing I've intentionally imaged.
So this is the furthest thing you've imaged. It's the furthest thing I've seen as well. Hey, there's a
That
galaxy over on the right-hand side there in it.
Yeah, so I framed it deliberately. Framed it to include those two. Those are. I wish they've got the plates.
Need to change your focal
there it
length
is.
again.
ESO 350-23 and ESO 350-21.
Cool.
So
So they
whatever
have
they
numbers
are.
for names.
They have numbers. They don't have names. Let me look them up.
Now Lee has got it on. Jumped over to an object.
Yeah, I was just
It's
trying to
not on-
confirm with
You've confirmed that it
which
is.
was it.
Yeah. So he's confirmed that it's Messier 77, which
Yeah,
means
so
that
that's
which means that it's not a comet.
no. So that's it. Yes, that's right. So Messier 77, and unless I'm sort of facing the wrong way, I think this might be NGC 1055. But it could show. It might be
What-
off screen for me.
1055 looks a bit like sombrero.
Yeah, that's what I know. It's a side on lenticular, but I might very well have. It might be up the screen here. Someone said in their notes that they should both show on the screen, showing the same field of view, but I've got a fairly sort of larger field of view, so
I can get them in the same view, but I have to turn my camera, and I'm not going to do that. So I might have to do this again.
yeah.
Okay,
So
so,
again, it might be off the screen a little. I can't see anything on the guide scope. I don't know if that's because I've got a bit of cloud at the moment, or
Shouldn't have any cloud, but then again, you're in ringers, so
yeah, ringers. Let me just see.
Alright.
There's a bit of
a
cloud.
little bit of cloud. Okay. So can you go back to M77 there?
Yeah.
Another one of
Oh, there we go, cloud. Yep.
wow. It wasn't discovered by Messier. It was discovered by Pierre Michard in 1780. It's 47 million light years away in the constellation Cetus. Michard communicated his discovery to Mr. Messier, who subsequently added it to his object catalogue list, the Messier object list.
Of not comets.
And would you believe that both he and William Herschel thought that it was a globular cluster?
It is pretty tight sort of formation, isn't it?
It is very tight. Yep.
I like how, and this isn't the best image regardless, but I like how how close in this sort of area of the arms are. It stretches out. Actually, it doesn't stretch out too far altogether when you look at it compared to a lot of other images, a lot of other objects.
So it's an active galaxy with an active galactic nucleus. It has hot dust around the nucleus, which was measured by the MIDI instrument in the Very Large Telescope. or at the Very Large Telescope Institute, or however you say that. And it's a Type 2 Safet Galaxy. Where's Stefan when you need him again? Oh no, that was Wolf Rayets, wasn't it?
Wolf Rat. Yep.
Yeah. Safet galaxies are good galaxies to study as well.
I just want to supplement on the two fuzzy that I've got on my screen. So this one is NGC 134.
Yeah.
Which is a barred spiral galaxy in the constellation, obviously the constellation of Sculptor, 16 million light years away. And the one next to that, so this little fuzzy, is NGC 131. I don't think there's a distance. No, there isn't a distance that's catalogued, because it's probably too far away for us to calculate. Not entirely sure, but yeah, it's very rather red shifted. So yeah, so it's 134. So I think it was called the Giant Squid Galaxy or something like that, something along that line. Yeah, Giant Squid Galaxy.
All right. Now, where were we? Oh, I've just seen a lovely comment. Andrea, our Grampians friend, spent a lot of time in the far outback, SA and NT, and used to lie in the back of the ute and look at the stars for hours. Never thought of taking a telescope out there. Maybe if we ever get set free, I will. Andrea, that should not be a maybe. That should be a definitely.
Yes.
You will not regret it at all. One of the best things you can do, taking a telescope out to a dark sky site. That's for sure. Now we're going to jump back to Anne-Marie. We're going to jump back to NGC 247. So this is, look at that. That's 5 minutes?
Yep.
Wow. Look at the detail in that. It's right in there. Oh, there's another galaxy out there on the right, left-hand side too.
Mm.
Yeah, right on the
Quite
edge
big
there.
too. Yeah, a little one there.
Yeah, another one there. Yep.
Another
That's just
another
one at the top as well. Actually, 2 up the top. Really tiny one. Yeah, one there. Another one above it. Little one above it. Yeah, that one there. There's also a little one above that little fuzzy that we saw before.
One to the far right.
Yeah, there's so
They're
many.
all
of
over
them. They're all over the shop. There's lots of galaxies in that field of view there. Lots of galaxies. Man, and Ronald, yeah, OMG. Guys, those of you watching, this is the sort of thing you should be sharing far and wide for people to be able to see what we're seeing right now coming into your homes live from amateur telescopes. This isn't even professional gear. This is people sitting at home while Anne-Marie's on a lovely rural property. Andy's on a lovely rural property. Caleb's, he's in, inner
Portal 6.
Portal 6, Gold Coast. And Lee's in Ringer. So that's like Portal. Oh, you've got the sun out the front of your house as well, don't you, Lee? So you're like Portal 10 now.
Yeah. Oh, yes, the street light that was installed a couple of weeks ago, which is absolutely
You still
horrible.
haven't put a wheelie bin over.
No. Oh, well, in fact, tonight it's funny the coincidence of mentioning wheelie bin, because it's bin night, which means we have to put our cars and vans on the lawn. So right now the van is pushed right up near the scope and blocking the street light.
Not a bad
Just
idea. You
can't
should
get
do
us
that every time we live stream.
Yeah, I'd have no lawn left.
We do live stream a lot, don't we? It's good fun,
Yeah,
though.
absolutely.
It's good fun, though. We do enjoy it. We just so you know, those of you watching, we love doing this for you guys. We love to stream this, share the little knowledge we have, and just share the universe with you. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, be sure to share it as much as you can. Let everyone know, because if you guys are enjoying it, I'm sure that there are others that will enjoy what we're doing as well. So now Andy has got NGC 1055 and M77 in the same frame. So M77 is the one that they thought was a star cluster, and NGC 1055 is the one that looks a heck of a lot like Sombrero.
Very much like, yeah. Yeah, so I was probably just slightly misaligned. I think probably like Anne-Marie was saying,
yeah, other way around.
Probably it'd be up the screen, which means I would probably get it if I spun the camera around.
Oops. I'll get it back in the middle.
Yeah, that's it's a lot like Sombrero Galaxy, isn't it? That one on the left there.
Yeah.
It's even got that little bit of a dust lane running through there under the bottom of it.
This is probably equivalent of Anne-Marie's second or 2 seconds maybe, but I'm heading into about 4 minutes, I think, at the moment. Here, it should be... Oh, no, it's only stack 1. Stack 2, so that's 4 minutes so far. I've never seen these before. I'll just brighten up a bit. I'll zoom into the Sombrero, look alike, but I'd need an hour or more on this to really get a good look. But the other little M77 is quite a busy little... Oh, there it is. It's got tricky to zoom in on this.
So some of these ones I'd love to even like take my focal reducer off and get a better zoomed in shot. But the problem with doing so, as Caleb was explaining earlier with the f stops is I would then go to f10 and it would just mean so much more light that I'd need to gather.
So the little sombrero looking thing on the left there, Anne-Marie's got a close-up of it coming along.
No, I haven't.
No? Oh,
No.
you tricked me.
I do, but I've also got a dud photo in there as well.
Don't tease me like that. Oh, I thought we had it coming up and everything.
Well, you do,
Oh,
but
goodness.
just a sec.
All right.
Just
Yeah.
go to mine.
It'll be one of those very long minutes is what it'll be.
Yeah, it will.
Hold, please.
Well, by then I'll probably have 6 minutes. And
Keep stacking.
it'll be
While
nowhere
we're waiting for that, I'll do
Here it comes.
the old. If you're enjoying what you're seeing and you're on Facebook, if you want to donate some stars, we really appreciate it, and we'd accept it gracefully. Goes all of the donations that we get go towards our All Abilities Astronomy project. Pathways are under construction at the moment. Rain pending on all of the rain that we've been getting as well, which is quite frustrating. But they are well underway and hopefully will be finished soon. We've got a wheelchair accessible telescope that's also under construction at the moment. And we're hoping to put up some remote observatory telescopes so that those who still can't get to the site can still do some astrophotography themselves from the comfort of their homes. So if you would like to donate stars on Facebook or stickers on YouTube, we would gratefully appreciate those donations. What have we got? That looks a bit like the pinwheel one. It kind of does look like a bit like the pinwheel one, but it's just so small that it looks really blobby. But you're right, it does have that spirally shape that the pinwheel has got.
Yeah, you're starting to see the pixels in my gear. I mean, I've got a 6-inch Newtonian, so this is max what you'd get, and plus I'm starting to get blown out stars, and when I'm starting to look at this sort of, yeah, you wouldn't get much more out of mine, I don't think. No.
Kevin, have you seen my hair? That alone tells you that I won't wait for anything. if you've watched most of our streams, you'll see that nearly every stream I've got different colours. So I'm not a very patient man. I can't wait the other 30 seconds. It's too long. Okay, so we're going to jump across to Anne-Marie. My lack of patience has been answered. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
And I've got another
Another
bright star off. Mm-hmm. They're so annoying.
What is that one again, Anne-Marie?
That's NGC 1077.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, 1070.
No,
No, 1055.
1055. Yeah.
1055. I blended it with M77.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does look a lot like Sombrero Galaxy, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, I better start watching.
Like, just going to bring up a photo of Sombrero Galaxy so we can show what we're talking about.
I wonder if it's got a black hole.
Probably
Same way
does.
as Sombrero in the because that's a lot of dark
I've
dust.
picked a small picture to share. No, that's not the one I want. That's no good. We'll try again, shall we? There we go. So I've tried to get an image that is similar in size so that we can compare the difference between what we're looking at there. And so this is an image that somebody has taken of Sombrero Galaxy. And then that is the one that Anne-Marie's taken of NGC 1055. So you can really see how similar they are to each other with that sort of dust lane running through. It's quite eerie how much like Sombrero Galaxy it is. So now, just trying to see what everyone else has got. Lee, what have you got there?
I think this is Darth Vader's stuff. It's Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, if I can tongue-tie my tongue. And I've accidentally switched over to the wrong filter, and I might have even stopped the stack. Did I? No, I didn't. Here we go. So you can sort of see it starting to come together. So you've got the center, and then in a couple of images I've seen. That was the change of filter, unfortunately. Hang on. It's just yeah, it needs quite a lot of images and probably a bit longer. So you can see
What's
these
that
sort
one,
of
Lee?
NGC 936 Darth Vader's TIE Fighter.
Yep, I'm just moving on to that one now.
So yeah, you can see the circular center, and then you start to see the curved edges.
That was my best Darth Vader.
You know what TIE? Do you know what TIE stands for?
What was that?
Do you know what TIE stands for in TIE Fighter?
I did, but I can't remember.
Twin Ion Engine.
There you go. It's been a while. So it's meant to look like it is, isn't it? It's meant to look like a TIE Fighter. Anne-Marie, we need you to come and save the day on this one as well.
Yep, 30 seconds.
I don't know if I can handle 30 seconds. We've
Plus a minute.
That. Kevin's already confirmed that I can't wait 30 seconds.
Now,
So
I've got an image.
it's a barred lenticular spiral galaxy. Barred lenticular galaxy in spiral galaxy. I'm just
pick one
now. In the constellation of Cetus.
Now,
What
I've
have you got
got
there,
an image of, it's NGC 1055, the Sombrero, but this one's been taken with the very large telescope, which is a bit bigger than the large telescope. It's not the extremely large telescope, but
it's a lot bigger than the very small telescope.
yes, they do name them crazy names, but this one's taken with a very large telescope, and it shows what's going on and like
It's beautiful.
sombrero looks like
It
this
is
too.
stunning. Yeah.
Yeah, but
All right. So
we'd
while
never
we're
get
waiting
anything.
for Anne-Marie's version of the TIE Fighter, as I'm going to call it,
Which
Caleb's
is
got.
right up. It's there now.
Oh, it's there now. We don't have to wait, so I wasn't having to be too impatient. That's all right. There we go. So, yeah, you can see that TIE Fighter shape. There's a couple other fuzzies around there, but you can definitely see that TIE Fighter shape, that core, and then the two arms on each side of it. So, good old Mr. Herschel thought that it was a planetary nebula, and you can see why.
Well, it was why I in our other chat, I was asking whether it by itself, whether it was a something I might need to get narrowband on, because I wasn't getting a huge amount of light from infrared, and I thought maybe I needed to go narrowband because it might have been a nebula.
Anne-Marie, your
I've
star
got terrible
trials
streaks. Yeah, I know.
look worse than the ones I get when I do
thinking-
30-second photos with my phone.
Yeah, I've definitely got something going wrong tonight, but I don't know what it is. It'll probably reject the next one, so I'll delete it because it'll look much better if it's got sharp stars.
Yeah, well, I changed from 1 minute to 3 minutes, so I'm just waiting for a 3-minute sub to come down now.
Okay, all right. Well, while we're waiting for that, and we might finish on TIE Fighter, but before we do, we'll jump across to NGC 1042, which Caleb's got in his view there.
Yeah,
and friends.
NGC.
I wanted to do that one too.
And
because I wanted
friends.
to-
So
And lots
we have
of friends.
NGC 1042 here.
Yeah.
Which
What
is
else
a
have we got in there,
spiral
Caleb?
galaxy. Good question. There's a cheat sheet.
It's friends.
So we've got MGC
There's a cheat sheet.
1-1-7-34, whatever that is, and we have a -32-27-53. What else have we got? I don't know.
Is that the MCG? So is that the Southern Stand and the Ponsford Stand? And
Yeah, probably.
that's where the men
yeah, I
kick
don't-
goals?
I wish I can find a annotated picture of it, but we can definitely see there's a lot of friends in there.
There's
So
very
one-
little information on NGC 1042 other than it's a spiral galaxy in constellation Cetus and an apparent magnitude of 14.
14. So yeah, so the friends are actually brighter than it. So if
Yep.
that's 14, that has to be somewhere like 10. I would
10,
guess.
Mm.
That's maybe 10. That's slightly dimmer. But we have a friend number 1, 2, maybe that one as
Friend
well. I
number
think.
1. So that's the Southern
Yeah,
Stand.
so
That's the Ponsford
1, 2,
Stand.
3,
That's the
4,
MCC
5.
members.
It always is
The
good
two-
to have a couple of white friends.
The two
around.
little ones are the MCC members because nobody goes there.
These two, and I think there maybe, I don't know, I couldn't really tell. This is only 5 minutes, so 5 by 1 minute exposures. Oh, there's another friend there. There's a lot of friends around.
There's a lot happening. So we'll just jump back over to Anne-Marie's TIE Fighter. And yep. And as Robert says, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
And
I
I
think
can't
we
do
may
a
have-
better shot.
Don't say anymore. We'll definitely get Disneyed. If they can try and claim my moon stream from a couple of months ago, they'll get just saying long time. I'm never going to
Yeah,
say
don't
it.
say it again, Lee.
Can't
We might finish
say
up
it.
there for the night, guys. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. We hope you enjoyed our live stream into the abyss. And if you're not a member of the ASV, do think about becoming one. You don't have to live in Victoria. You don't have to live in Melbourne. You don't want to live in Melbourne at the moment. So if you're not a member and you want to become a member, all of our club section meetings. So we have astrophotography, we have deep sky, we have radio astronomy. Ronald is a member. Thank you, Ronald. I know you're a member. Glad to see you enjoying the streams. We have a junior section. We have a cosmology. We have lots of different sections. Mr. Paddy, I will be nice. Steve Paddy's our former president of the ASV, but even he would agree that Melbourne's not a place to be at the moment. Join the society, asv.org.au/join. And I just heard the ding of stars again, so thank you to whoever that was. I will respond shortly to your donation. How do you join? You go to www.asv.org.au/join, Julianne. That's how you join. It's $75 a year plus a $20 joining fee. You can join all of the section meetings online via Zoom. We have closed private Facebook groups as well that you can jump into and ask questions and learn things as well. Our Dark Sky site will be opening soon. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we all want to get back up there. It's a lovely community of people. And you're right, Julianne, it's not much at all. It's really not. And what you get for that is quite amazing as well. It's great value for money. But thank you, everybody, for coming along tonight. Thank you to those who donated stars. We hope you enjoyed it. I believe our next stream will be next Wednesday night, where we have a monthly talk, our Astro Talk, which is Where Do Stars Go to Die, presented by Shanika Galordage. I'm going to get that right before next Wednesday. That one kicks off at 8 p.m. It's going to be a great talk. So come along, join us there, and we'll see you next Wednesday night. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
No.